Welcome to Read Between the Wines, where two bibliophiles discuss our love of the written word from cover to cover and cork to glass. Pour yourself a beverage and join us for this week's episode. Cheers! We back again.
Back again. Pew, 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 pew.
Guess who's back? Nope.
Back again. We're here to sing to you today.
Oh, God,
Welcome.
Please know this is not karaoke with wine. Though karaoke with wine is more fun than karaoke without
Karaoke
wine.
with wine is always a good idea.
Right? It is Friday. Maybe we need to find a karaoke place tonight. I kid. Regardless, welcome back to Read Between the Wines. And today we're actually talking book organization because your girl has an organizer's heart, especially for her books, right? And to tell you, there are certain things that are super organized and certain things that are not, right?
And books are one we schmorgamize.
Right? Over organize those. But if I could have a reason to re-shelve my books, like to take them off and play with them and reshelve them, every day I would do it.
Okay.
Right? I love the
Let's get
have
comfy
it,
for
right?
this
Like
one.
we go get serious this one. I love being able to take a look at my books that I have on my shelf because there are some
Yes.
that I don't see all the time, right? And so having an excuse to go over to the shelf and actually peruse it for something I am looking for that I read before, something that I haven't read that's new or whatever that is a thing that I enjoy.
Okay.
And so I love having my bookshelves.
So I am a set it and forget it kind of girl.
Fair.
I originally put up, but I will keep hardcover together.
Fair.
And I do size them.
Fair.
So they are not like this. They're like a gradual.
Okay.
So it's very pleasing to the eye.
Fair.
And I do keep my paperbacks together. I tried to do a rainbowy, so I got a really cool diagonal bookcase.
I love your bookcase.
And I started putting books on it.
Right.
And when you step back and look at it and realize they're all dark, black and gray and navy, and you're like, so not cute. So
but
then,
is a theme.
It is a theme, but it is like most of my theme.
Okay, fair.
So I thought, okay, I need some bright colors. So I went and just pulled books based on their color of their cover.
Fair.
And started putting them in, and it is so cute.
Oh.
So now that's where those stay.
Okay, but that is an organization.
So it's like I have different themes depending on where it's at.
Okay.
And then I get organization remorse when I see all the creative ideas on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, and people are rebounding their books.
Oh, I love that. If I could, oh
Right?
my gosh. If I had unlimited funds, the number of rebound books I would buy that are like the pretty ornate whatever,
Yes.
or the ones where people paint like the...
They're making their own now out of
Right.
cardboard and
I
your
know.
Cricut machine and...
Right, which I have all of the things. I don't have the talent or the time. But I have, like...
I have
yes,
the stuff.
Right? That part of Book Talk is just a fantasy for me.
Yes.
It is literally just something that I could only dream to be part of. I had worked with somebody before who videoed for work, like that was her job, right? Her career was being on camera, and so all of her books were faced the other way, so all of the pages were out and they were all white, right?
Oh.
So it's all the books, but everything is white behind her, which makes her a great background, but still there's stuff on the shelves and blah blah. She doesn't do that anymore, but that was a long time ago sort
I'm
of
like,
thing.
how do you know what to read?
Right, but
Is that functional? This is just for looks, I guess.
For her, I think it was a set.
Okay.
Right? So I think she had chosen the books and their covers and things like that for the purpose
Oh.
of the set so that everything was faced the other way. So it was a very
Yes.
neutral background. I get that. Love that because it looked great. Not something that I could do.
Not really practical for me.
No. And I will tell you, I'm running out of space on my shelves. Surprise, surprise. I have some books. So my books are organized. I have like a self-help section. I have a literal just Nora Roberts section because I have a crap ton of her books. I have an Irish folklore section.
Oh.
I have mysteries, and I have like my miscellaneous, right? Whereas everything else just kind of goes in there. Basically, it's all fiction, right? So my self-help is usually my nonfiction, and then everything else is just kind of like mix and match fiction. if I have a series, that series usually gets its own shelf or it goes on the
Yes.
series shelf. So I have like Harry Potter is next to Twilight, which is next to what the heck is it called? Hunger Games, which is next to 50 Shades. Like they're all there.
Yeah.
But then as I grab new series, so I've got the whole set of True Blood, I've got the whole set of ACOTAR, I've got 2/3 of the Crescent City. Those are actually on a different set of shelves in my main family room because I'm currently reading them.
Yes. Yes, because those are the current reads and
Right?
they need to be close.
They do. I need to have them near me.
I will tell you my series are together, but not together together. So my series are together with decor.
Okay.
So my Harry Potter series, there is a Jasper, a giant
Oh.
Jasper stone beside it because it pulls
Nice.
in all the colors
Yeah, yeah.
of the covers. My Game of Thrones is stacked
Okay.
instead of since they're so small.
Yeah.
So they're stacked. There's a dragon on top of
Cute.
them.
Cute.
So like there's a theme. So I have like theme within themes.
Right? I love that.
Because I feel like if you put series side by side, like
right now,
I don't know, it just feels like we're mixing and matching things that shouldn't be mixed and matched.
and I don't like where they are. I'll tell you, my
Yes.
series they are together, but they're low on the shelf, and I don't love that.
yes.
I love the idea of putting them as part of the decor because I feel like my shelves are getting a little disorganized.
yes.
And what you all can't see on this side of the table is just 4 piles of books because it's also part of like the hey, people have handed me these to read, so it's like a mini TBR,
Yes.
but not like an I chose it TBR.
right.
My I chose it TBR is downstairs
Is
in
the
my family room.
bookshelf downstairs.
Is the family room bookshelf because then I can just grab books and call
Yeah.
it a day and it's fine. So I love the organization, but I change it all of the time.
all the time. Yes.
I once made, and I'll have to probably post it. I probably need to actually take it over and shove it on the Instagram for us. I made a video of like gathering all of my TBR books from around my house. And it's literally just clips of me grabbing books from random places, or like books here, books there, books this shelf, books this room. There's a book in the kitchen. There's a book. So it was, which is funny because they were everywhere. But then it's a stack of like 15 books that I'm in the process of, or should need to, or just purchased
right.
that are everywhere. And that's not even the whole TBR.
I do that when I'm like, okay, I finished a book. What do I need to read? And then I'll kind of walk around and look. And I'll realize that I've already started like 10 other books.
Right?
And it's like, oh, maybe I should just pick up one and finish it.
Right?
Finally.
Just see where I was and where I need to be.
But also, as much as I love organization, I have seen some people who just have piles of books on their shelf, like haphazard behind them in videos or as their Zoom or, whatever
Right.
their little set is. And they're just put anywhere they can fit them. So there's like books stacked like this. They're not sized. They're just kind of all over the place.
Okay.
There's some shoved in on top. There's some like at an angle. And my heart loves it. If I could figure out how to create that,
Okay.
it's a very cool look.
Okay.
But it is so unorganized
Right,
for me. I
and
don't know. It would take so much work to make it look like I didn't work
Yes,
at it.
Yes. And I think for me, I have to have some sort of categorization, which I'm not saying they don't, right? I have to have some sort of obvious categorization because if mom comes over and she's like, hey, can I borrow this book? I need to be like, oh, it's on the fantasy shelf. It's on the Nora shelf, like, which is very obvious for you to see, right?
Yeah.
And I do the same thing I actually have, so I have my books everywhere, right? But then I also have shelves of books across the room that are children's books because I used to teach.
Yes.
So I have a bunch of my leftover read aloud books that are great for, especially where my kids are in school right now, the young, with my youngest
Mhm.
being in first grade now. It's great for him, but eventually those books are going to have to go somewhere.
They're going to be shelved.
Right? Like permanently for a while. And I don't know that I think we're kind of past the time where I want to hang on to books for grandchildren because I'm not old enough for that and will not be for a very long time. And I don't know that I want to take up the space.
Yeah.
So I kind of want them to be used and loved instead of just waiting for,
Yes.
you know what I
Waiting
mean?
to be passed down.
Waiting to be passed down. So I'm at a weird place with that
Yes.
because that is a shelf that I'm like, kids, hog wild, go for it. Like, you see a cover you like, you grab it, you read it, whatever, just shove it back on the shelf. There's
Yes.
no organization there whatsoever. They actually used to be organized by when I taught them during the school year.
Oh.
So September books were like best friend books and how to be a good classmate books, and then you had October for Halloween, and then you had, you know, November for Thanksgiving and holiday at December, and so that's how they were organized.
Yeah.
And so now they're clearly not like that because my children have used them and I'm not teaching anymore. But that is a whole different level of organization that it's there. And my kids have their own quote unquote organization, which is usually just get it on a shelf in their own rooms. And so I just feel like there's so many ways to organize things.
Yes. And I feel like it's kind of one of those things where I have it organized my way.
Yep.
And then I'll see somebody do a reel or
And I'm like,
on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, that's
but I love
brilliant.
that.
And
Yes.
I love it. And I think that's one of the things that I love reading books on my iPad as well, but you can't see them.
Mm-mm.
So I'm very sad because I
less of a
can't
trophy.
see them.
Right.
And I want to be able to see them.
I am part of a Facebook group, and I want to say it's like librarianologist or something, like it's something silly like that, right, about books, and it's basically just photos of everybody's libraries.
Yes.
Like their home libraries. And when I tell you the amount of inspiration I have of like, I could do that. I would love to put a greenhouse in my backyard and make it into a book nook. Like, let's do that thing with what time and funding. But I love the idea of I'm to the point where I think I'm ready. I've lived in this house long enough. And I'm starting to make it very much,
Your own.
my own, that I would like to take my books and make them part of my decor.
Yes.
Not just stored.
Right.
And so there are certain things. Have you seen the little little book nook thingies where you can it lights up on the inside? You build it and it lights up and it's like the inside of a little Hobbit Hobbit library, or it's like the Beauty and the Beast library, but it's like a little rectangular thing that fits into the shelf. I want those.
Yes.
What am I going to do with them? I have no idea. But I want them.
Yes.
Someday I want to have enough books that I can have one of those rolly shelves.
Yes.
Like one of the rolly, I have to have.
You have to spin it to that kind.
Or just the ladder where I can Beauty and the Beast the shit out of that ladder.
Yes.
I want that.
Yes.
That's what I want. You know what I mean? But it's such silly little things. But I want to make some of that stuff.
That's what makes us happy.
Right? I want to make some of that my decor. Right. I have a couple of things that I love as decor on my shelf, but nothing really goes together.
Right.
And so it feels very haphazard.
So books as decor is perfect segue into. So something I've seen recently is people buying books strictly for their covers.
Yes.
And how they look on the shelf.
Yes.
Is this something you would do?
Now, we talked a little bit about the ones, how Barnes & Noble has the special print ones where it's the collection of Jane Austen, the collection of, whatever they are. I love those.
Tempting.
I love those.
Yeah.
And yes, I would do it. I also love the idea of grabbing more antique looking books, like older books, and kind of giving them a new purpose, whether it's just to be on the shelf. I think I mentioned in a different episode my favorite copy of Dracula.
Yes.
And how it's a piece of crap. Like
it's
that thing
falling
is just
apart.
It one stray breath and it becomes dust. To dust we become. So that's where we are with it. But I love it. I have a Dorian Gray copy that's never been read. I don't even know if I've read Dorian Gray, but it's old and the pages are that yellowy, even darker than this, right? And they are just, it's perfect. So I love those sorts of things, knowing full well that I'm not reading them.
Yes.
So
books as decor you're in on.
I'm in. I'm honestly in on just about anything that has to do with the book. That's cool.
Yeah. I don't think I'm there yet.
That's fair.
I feel like I'm still in my books, the ones I want to read can be decor. And I will, fit them in, but they will have a purpose. Still
That's
have
fair.
a book purpose.
Yeah.
They're in my face and I'm going to read them, or I have read them, kind of thing. I don't think I'm at the point yet that I could buy them just for decor.
That's fair. And I think for me, if they're decor, they have to match what's in there.
Yeah.
So my entire family room is that black and gold. So if the books are black and gold,
you would be looking for black and gold books.
I would be looking for black and gold binding.
Yeah.
Just because it would, how freaking cool would that be?
Yes.
Or even just to figure out back to binding my own.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be neat to take some of my favorites that have crap covers and rebinding them into something that matches?
Yes.
And then being able to read it? Come on.
Yes.
I don't know that you've ever heard. There's a creator called Nerd Forge.
I have.
Have you? I love them, by the way.
Yes.
Did you see when they made the entire, like, there's one thing where they took an entire series of books, and I can't remember the series 'cause it's not one I've read. It's definitely a fantasy series. But they basically bound all, say, 13 books together and made it one giant book that you could actually open.
Did not see that one.
It's bananas.
Yes.
I have to send you the video because it's insane.
I did watch her. Is that the girl I'm thinking of?
With the purple hair?
Yes.
Yes, I love her.
Yes. Let me
She's
make sure
great.
I know
Yes,
it.
yes.
Just the ingenuity.
Right? The
of
stuff that they
things.
make. I think she made like a coffee maker that was like a castle or something. I don't know. Whatever they're doing is bananas to me, and I love it. So
Brilliant. Yes. So, okay. If we're going back to books on your shelf and your TBR,
Yes.
how are you choosing your next book? Because I've seen some very creative things. So I'm just curious.
Oh, I've seen the thing where, and this is not me, where, and I think you and I actually talked about this once.
Where they wrap them?
Yes.
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 And then you pick a number so
exactly.
you
Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so what I've seen is you wrap them like we used to wrap our textbooks, right? In the brown paper sacks.
Yep.
And you decorate it and you put a number on it. And you line your shelf with these brown paper covered books. And when you're ready, you go to a little cup and you pick out a number and you go find that corresponding book and that's the one you read.
Right.
And it's like whatever you get, you get. I don't know how I feel about this. I love the idea, but we had talked about maybe just wrapping the first in the series so you didn't accidentally grab
a second
book
book
3.
Yeah.
And
that would be bonkers
thinking
to me.
that. But also, I feel like I have to be in a certain mood for some books.
Just going to say that. Because if I'm not...
Yes.
If I grab a romance and I'm not looking for a romance, I'm looking for something that's a little bit more sci-fi.
Yeah.
I'm not going to enjoy it.
Right?
And then I'm going to be annoyed.
I'm going to feel like I'm forced.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I like the theory and it looked beautiful on the shelf.
What if you do a combination? So the ones that you don't mind where you're like, look, if I'm totally not feeling anything, like I'm up for anything, I have this set of blind date books. But
labeling them.
Right? I have my blind date books over here, but then I also have my TBR that's sitting to the side where I have to be in a mood to read them.
Right.
Right? So I kind of have, and to tell you, I have 16 piles of TBR. So it's not like this is a hard thing for me right now because I do have an entire half shelf of books downstairs that I have not read yet that are like, oh, you need to read these.
And yeah, but when?
Right? And so there are some, probably the ones over here are ones that I could blind date book.
They're, the
ones downstairs are ones that I could, And I also love the idea of, even if you're not going to number them, putting a little bit of a sonata, like just writing like on the back, like romance.
Maybe a little abstract romance, or something.
Romance, enemies to lovers. That's it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Fantasy, elves and gnomes. Whatever it is.
Yeah. I would have to have somebody else wrap them.
Oh, yeah. Because I would know.
I would know. And I'd be like, not that one. I remember what that one is. It's like peeking at your Christmas presents. Yeah. Shake it a little bit and you're like,
this feels like a historical fiction.
That extra thick one, like, I know exactly what that one is. I know who you are. No, thank you. So I feel like my little brain would take over and be like, nope, not that one. So I don't know that it would work for me.
I would love to offer something someday where like I get to put the blind date together and send it off to somebody. You know what I mean? Where it's a book, like, and I would love for them to be pre-loved books.
Yes.
I would love for them to be pre-loved books where we just kind of collect them and then we get to wrap them up and somebody says, hey, I would like a blind date with, a blind date in the fantasy realm. I would like a blind date in the historical fiction realm. I would like a blind date in a nonfiction realm. Like, and then we can just go and like, bloop.
Yes.
I would love that.
I have ideas. We'll talk off camera.
Right. I'm like,
things are happening, guys. Things are coming.
So many things are coming because I think there's a community here that is just looking to connect and grow. And
yes,
I think there are so many different types of people who like different things that are still connected by just the love of books.
And I will tell you that is my favorite thing to do in used bookstores is to peruse the on sale, the really cheap,
Mhm.
whatever, and just pick something that I've never heard the author of,
Yeah.
that I've never like, or that maybe I wouldn't normally
Yep.
read,
Yep.
because I'm like, who's going to say no to a 50-cent book?
Right.
Like, who's going to say no to a $2 book? Like,
And if I don't like it, it was $2.
if you hate it, it was $2.
right, I can sneeze $2.
And I will tell you, I've done this frequently, and I've only come across like 2 or 3
right.
that I was like, well, that was a waste of a quarter. But like, for the most part, it's because it's just easy. There's no
Right.
expectation.
Right.
There's not a whole lot of weight on it. So I love the idea of blind date books.
I like blind date books.
We love this.
Right.
Yes.
I just think that there are so many ways, and I can tell you, I don't think my TBR is organized. It's just books around my house.
Yeah.
My TBR is just my book collection.
It's all your books.
My TBR is all my books.
All my books are
Right?
my TBR, yes.
But I also love that I have books that I've read and loved and kept, and that they have their places.
Yes. Yes.
So
Also, something we've talked about, you have a cute little stamp.
I
For
love
your
my
books.
stamp.
Yes.
Oh, I love my stamp. So I got one of those embossers.
Yes.
So basically, and you can do it, you can really stamp anything that's paper. So I got an embosser, and it basically says, from the library of, and then it has my name on the bottom, and in the middle it's actually got like a book, and it looks like a mountain theme, right? It's got a little mountain, it's got a river, whatever. Granted, not as easy to see when you're putting it on a book, but you basically just put it on the first page of the book, and you push down really hard, and it embosses the paper so that it is raised and it has my information on it, and I'm not writing in it in that case. And if I'm giving the book out, at least people know where they got it from, and I can get it back
Yes.
if I need it.
Yeah.
But I do love that, and I actually don't put the stamp on it unless I've read it.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of how I
know that it's
once I finish reading it, I'll stamp it, because then I know it's
Okay.
ready to be given to somebody else.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm like, did I read you? Are we friends?
Have
Like,
we met?
Right? Have we?
Nah.
How intimately do I know you right now?
Exactly.
So I've definitely, and that, I mean, that's a 1 to 2 week old purchase
Oh, nice.
that I love.
Nice.
And then I do also, they have ones where you can actually ink stamp it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm very good at smudging ink. So at least this.
Yeah, you got to think about that one.
And I don't have to worry if I'm doing it upside down, because it only
Yes.
goes on one way.
Yes.
So it's perfect. Yeah, one of those just fun things, and helps me, instead of, my mom likes to put like her name and the date, or her initials in the date in the corner, so she knows which one she's read. This is my way of doing that now,
I love that.
because then I don't feel like I'm writing in it.
Mine goes on my Instagram stories or my Goodreads
There you go.
list, so that I go, have I read you, or have I just looked at your cover enough times that I think we're
Have I seen
familiar
you on
now.
TikTok, and now I think I've
right?
read
And now I'm like, is that my memory or
you, right?
someone else's memory?
Yeah, and there are certain books that I have multiple copies of because of that. Because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to read this because I keep seeing it. Well, I already own you. I haven't read you yet, but I already own you
Yeah,
twice.
I keep seeing you because you're on my shelf.
Right?
So, do you have any ideas on how to get around that? Do you have extra schmorganization?
Right? I wish that I did. So for me, I'm a tech person. I love cute technology. And so I think the idea of having like a cute little like QR code or something that goes on the shelf that kind of tells you like, here are
Ah.
the books on the shelf, here are the ones
Yeah.
you read, whatever. But the organization of that, the creation of that as a whole thing has not happened for my life yet.
It's a lot
I
to think
would
about.
love to love Goodreads,
Yeah.
but mine's not organized enough right now. I think I just threw all the books in. Mine's not organized enough for it to be utilized
Yeah.
as an organization system for me quite yet. So I need to get there. I haven't. I think I'm still just in the realm of collecting books.
Yeah. I love
I'm
collecting
just hoarding
books.
them at this point, and that's kind of
Yes.
how it goes.
See, I read something the other day, and it was basically like libraries, bookstores, used bookstores. They're basically like adoption facilities.
100%.
And
I'm all for adoption.
how dare you leave books there? Like,
Yeah,
they
they're all
want to be taken home. They
looking for a
want to be
home.
rescued.
Yes.
Yes. So they need a home.
Thank God I don't feel that way about puppies all the time.
So
I don't
we're
go
not-
to the SPCA as much as I go to a bookstore, because we would
Right.
have plenty of dogs.
Right. Yeah. No. Can't do it. But books I can do.
Right?
I got all the time.
Books don't need to be fed.
for
Books
books.
feed me.
Right. Exactly.
Books are my sustenance.
And they look cute
Right.
while we wait.
Yes. Oh, I have so many ideas and so little bookshelf space.
I
Like,
feel like in 10 years, when people are selling their homes, we're all going to have a ton of IKEA built-in bookshelves where we have all, I don't know about you, but this is my social feed, right? It's all the IKEA hacks with the Billy bookcase and then adding trim and how we're building out. Like, I feel like
Yep.
this is the wallpaper of the 70s. Like, everybody's going to be ripping out bookcases.
My feed is all like mobile bookstores. Like how
Yes.
people, your girl wants one. I just want one to like hang out,
I need one of those.
just to take it
Just
around.
leave it in the driveway.
Right, and just like encourage people to
Yes.
to do bookstore things with
Yes.
me out in the public eye. Like let's
Adopt,
just
don't shop.
right? I just call it like a book adoption center. Like,
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I love it.
Yes.
I love that as an idea. I have so many ideas of ways to organize the books in my world, and I have done none of them.
Right?
Maybe this will be the kick in the pants that I need.
Yeah, because now we gotta put our books where our mouth is.
Right now I have to, and the thing is, when I do it,
We need to
I need
show
to do
them.
a before and an after.
We need to show the people.
Yes, would love to see how you guys are organizing your
would love
books. If you have
ideas.
something that you absolutely love or that you're proud of, or that you're just like, hey, this works for me, please share it because I need all of the ideas.
I would love. Yes.
All of them.
Because God forbid every room in my house have the same book display
Right?
style.
None of mine do.
Give me some ideas.
Right? I'm like, just tell me what you're doing. Show me your ways.
Show me. Exactly.
But I think this leaves a lot to the imagination and the realm of possibility.
Yes.
And hopefully we can all have bookshelves we love very shortly.
Yes.
Or at least be on the way to an idea that we like.
Yeah. Tag us in the ones you're seeing too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
And happy to share whatever we find as well.
Yes.
So keep an eye on our Instagram, wine.read.wine, and hopefully we'll see you over there with some of your ideas as well. Bye.
Bye.